In this video, I'm going to share with you this stack of recent comic book hauls, including a Daredevil achievement crossed off, as well as a little birthday gift to myself. Coming right up. What's up, guys? This is John, and you're watching Old Stuff is Cool. Thank you so much for tuning in. We've got a good old comic book haul video for you today, and given that I'm still playing some catch up, man, do I have a lot of comics to share with you guys today. Before I forget, if you enjoy comic book videos, comic book hauls, and the like, please be sure to hit that like button. And if you haven't done so already, please consider becoming a subscriber and not missing out on any new videos. Alright, so let's just dive into the first haul. This one comes from eBay. It is a Daredevil lot. And so it's this little stack of books here. I did get a few duplicates, but you know, it's such just a way to try to get a good deal. Let's just go right from newest to oldest. We've got Daredevil issue 214. And these are the doubles. Issue 213. Issue 212. Great cover here featuring Kingpin. Only 2 duplicates here, and there were, I forgot to mention this, there are a total of 5 books. We got issue 203, Newsy. Nice cover here. John Byrne, no less. And then the main book that I picked up this lot that drew my eye to it, this one has definitely, it did garner a little bit of attention because of its key significance. We're talking about Daredevil issue 174, Frank Miller's run, and this features the first appearance of the Hand, the good old red-clad band of ninjas. And the reason this garnered that attention is the Hand is set to appear, rumored to appear? No, they're set to appear in the next Spider-Man movie, Brand New Day. But this issue itself is written and drawn by Frank Miller and features Daredevil, Gladiator, and Elektra here on the cover, fighting the aforementioned Hand. So a great, significant issue from the Frank Miller run. Altogether, these 5 books with shipping cost me just under $30. Moving on to package number 2 of 3 is this big stack of books. This is accumulation from some Facebook claim sales from my buddy Dan from Out of the Panel Comics. I've gotten a bunch of great comics, old and new, just over the past 2 years, I want to say. Year and a half, 2 years. It's great that Dan allows his customers to build a stack to maximize on shipping. That is usually the biggest kind of cut into any good deals you might get from your online purchases. Also, Dan always throws in some freebies. So the freebies include, and these are titles usually that I'm not that familiar with. Sensei Part 1. I'm not sure. First Publishing. I've not heard this book, but hey, it's got a cool painted cover. And then the other freebie, I'm familiar with this title, kind of. Team 1 Wildcats, issue number 2. I do know that's I was about to say that's Mr. Majestic. I don't know if that's Mr. Majestic. And then this dude down here looks like Spartan from Wildcats. So I guess I'm not as familiar with those characters. I just recognize Wildcats and Image Comics. Anyway, speaking of Image Comics, let's go into the haul itself. I had to pick this one up. It was, I think I got it for 50 cents or like $1. The Max #1. Creator of the Max, Sam Keith, had passed away recently when this had gone up on sale. I did not have my original copy of the Max from my youth, and really wanted to celebrate, him, his legacy, and really just acknowledge his untimely passing. Really, lost an artist that had such a unique style and worked, both his own independent creations, and of course, I knew him a lot from those covers and some of his stories from Marvel Comics Presents. He's known for the exaggerated musculature, but he drew that Wolverine with a ton of body hair. Possibly the most amount of body hair from Logan that I've seen from any artist, but love his stuff and happy to add the Max #1 to the collection, just in remembrance of him. Also, sticking with the 90s, we've got a little 2-issue miniseries here. We've got Cable issue #1, and that's a John Romita Jr. cover. Love that splash of pink in the back. And issue #2. of two. This was Cable's first miniseries. It came out at a time where Cable was more popular than Deadpool, so you really saw the push of miniseries and appearances of Cable at this time. And yeah, it's a 2-issue series. This is another one that I did have in the past, but kind of missed it, and it is a fun read. So if you're looking for a little injection of Cable to your reading pile or to your collection, you can't really go wrong with a 2-issue miniseries. Then Dan has periodically had issues of Captain America, and I will say that currently I've kind of de-emphasized my collecting of Captain America. I'm kind of delving into things that are beyond the dollar bins, and that was primarily my my Captain America collecting. That being said, when I come across the Mike Zeck covers in that range of 200 issues 200 to 300, I'm definitely gonna pick that up. This is one of them, issue 262. Then we had a great run filler here. Issue 291 is one of the gaps I had in my Cap run. The Tumbler. I don't know. I am a Batroc the Leaper guy, but Tumbler. The Tumbler is a bit of I feel like even with that pose and everything is a bit of a gimmick infringement on Batroc the Leaper. So in wrestling, that's a big no-no. You gotta work out your own stuff, brother. And then we have issue 310. It features the first appearance of the Serpent Society. My copy was a bit banged up, but these Cap issues I got mostly for these I got for $1. And granted, they're not a dollar bin. It's just that the auction style purchasing, no one else was going for it, so I will gladly take that deal. Following Cap is a couple Moon Knight books that I got. Still loving Moon Knight, Mark Spector. This one is Devil's Reign Moon Knight. And I've read this, back in the day. Did not realize it was Jed MacKay. So I think this really sets him up to take over the title. I don't know how long his Moon Knight ongoing had come out after this one shot as part of Devil's Reign, but you can see here Moon Knight's been put in prison, and while you might normally fear for his life being a superhero, he can hold his own and basically bust some heads while locked up. And then we also have a Fist of Khonshu Moon Knight, issue number 4. This one, while I'm not going for this, I think it's only like a 6-issue volume. I have issues 1 and 6. This one was only $1, so happy to fill out that miniseries as I can. And then I was very happy to find some issues from volume 1 of Moon Knight that I was missing, including this newsstand copy of issue number 3, which features the first appearance of Midnight Man, and also newsstand copy of issue number 4. And again, this is just to fill out the run. Finally, issue number 11. We got some sort of demon with the words Mardi Gras written on his forehead for some reason. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on here. But with these checked in, all I have left from volume 1 of Moon Knight are 2 more issues. Issues 21 and 25. 25 is a big one. I would say outside of issue number 1, it might be the most pricey. I'm not sure why it commands, sometimes up to like $50 worth. I've seen some like banged up copies of that book with an asking price of $50 or more. I have the omnibus. I just want probably a mid-grade copy, but given its all black cover, I do kind of want to preserve that and be able to show it off a little bit. So I might have to pay up a little bit more. So on the hunt, we're in convention season. I'm pretty confident I can come across a copy for a price that I'm comfortable with. And with Dan's sales, sometimes I will just pick up kind of random keys that come up at a great price. This is one of them. It is The Mighty Thor, issue number 411. And this features the first, I think it's listed as the first cameo appearance of the New Warriors. It's also just a great cover featuring the Juggernaut. They did have issue 412 as well. I was trying to win, both books, but was only able to snag this one. That being said, no one's really chasing the New Warriors too hard. So if I can find it, again, for a attractive price, happy to add the accompanying issue 412 with this guy. Next, we have this great variant cover from Silk #2 by Todd Nauck, and it's an homage to Amazing Spider-Man issue. I guess it's more of a homage to issue 301, because number 300 has, you know, all the numbers in the back, the darker background. This caught my eye, yeah. And honestly, I did like Silk as a character. Unfortunately, there's way too many Spider characters, both, you know, of all sorts. You got Spider-Gwen, you got Miles, you got all sorts of versions of those characters from the Spider-Verse multiverse. But I know they were considering doing a whole series with her. I don't know if that's the key. Maybe we'll see her in a future animated series. I don't know, but there's a lot of there's a great foundation there with that character. So I hope they use her. And keeping within that Spider-Verse, this is my first Todd McFarlane Marvel Tales cover, issue 239. And Marvel Tales, for those who might not know, is a reprint series. That being said, near the end of its run, or quasi near the end, there are a bunch of great covers with Todd McFarlane. In particular, there's a bunch of X-Men covers, or Spidey and X-Men covers, that I've always had my eye on. So this one I popped up for, you know, in my notes. I usually have the prices, but this one was under $5, and I think that's the minimum that I see them go for, $5 to $10, given that they're reprints. But you know, some people say see Todd buy Todd, and I certainly did that in this case. I also just love the OG Beast. Great contrast here just with the colors, with the blue and the red of Spidey. Great stuff. Fun cover. Continuing with Spider-Man, I have an issue of The Amazing Spider-Man, issue 162. Great crossover of Nightcrawler and Spidey. This one also features the first appearance of Jigsaw. This one is a mid-grade, lower mid-grade copy. Maybe if I show a little closer here, there's definitely, you know, issues with the spine, some blemishes there. But I will say for, I think just around $10 for this one. I figured pick up this copy again with the shipping, because I am building a box with Dan. It makes it a little less risky to maybe pick up these, you know, mid-grade, lower grade books, just as placeholders at the very least. But you know, love Nightcrawler, love Spidey, and so I do think it's like a 2 or 3 issue arc there. I'd love to pick that up, you know, in its completion at some point. We're nearing the end of this big pile of comics. Next is an upgrade copy to a key X-Men book, and that is New Mutants Annual, issue number 2. This features the first appearance of Psylocke in American comics. Great cover here, dynamic. You got a lot of pink backgrounds. Shout out to my buddy Space Ferret Comics, who collects pink covers here. I'm pretty sure you have this one already, but yeah, the copy that I had gotten had a bunch of spine ticks. I've been hunting it for a while, and had made the previous copy was more of an impulsive Whatnot purchase. And also, just with Whatnot, the danger is you don't always, you know, unless the seller explicitly declares it, discloses it, it's easy to get books that are kind of more banged up than you think. That is not an issue anymore, as this is a beautiful copy. I would say this is definitely in VF very fine range, whereas the other one was definitely more just like fine or lower. So I'm a big X-Men guy as well as Spidey, so yeah, it's good to have a nice looking copy of this book in the collection. And then finally, with the last book, it's a great book in and of itself, but this is the Daredevil collecting achievement I have unlocked. We got Daredevil issue number 170, Newsstand, and this one features the first appearance of Kingpin in the Daredevil title. Now, Kingpin first appeared in Amazing Spider-Man much earlier, but Frank Miller is the one who kind of made this character as prominent as he is. At time of recording, Daredevil Born Again Season 2 is either wrapped up or about to wrap up. I'm still playing catch up on Season 1, but greatly enjoying it, so I'll be able to binge that as soon as I wrap up Season 1. But I've only heard great things, and it wouldn't be possible without this run of Daredevil. And speaking of which, for those who don't know the history of Frank Miller and his title, he had first come on as an artist before given the reins of the book with the first appearance of Elektra, which is a book I was lucky to get earlier this year. This was the final issue I needed from the written and drawn by Frank Miller Daredevil issues. The next goal is to get those ones where he was on art but not necessarily writing duties. I think Roger McKenzie was the main writer he was working with. So a significant book with a fantastic cover to boot. And I'm just loving collecting Daredevil. There's a bunch of Daredevil just in this run in general. But yeah, it's such a great character who's had such immense talent on the title. Now on to the third and final haul for the video. This one was a bit of a birthday gift to myself. There are two Silver Age books that features a first appearance of a character that I quite enjoy, thanks to the Into the Spider-Verse and Across the Spider-Verse movies. And that is Amazing Spider-Man issue number 78, featuring the first appearance of the Prowler. I love this cover. The colors on this particular copy were great, but I didn't just get this one. I got his first and second appearance with issue 79. And I'm glad to say, this is from eBay, by the way. While 79, the wrap is a little funky, you can see some of the back cover coming over. In general, it was a nice condition, but the main focus really here was getting a copy that I was happy with issue number 78. So this bundle was decently priced, and even though the make an offer option wasn't on it, I felt like looking at the prices and whatnot, I felt like there's room to negotiate. So I actually wound up just messaging the seller directly. And we were able to come. Actually, he accepted my offer. In general, I'm not trying to lowball anyone. I just as someone who sometimes sells comics myself, to raise money to go back into the hobby. I do know how insulting it can be to get a super lowball offer, and in general, I don't really take those offers seriously anyhow. So in general, I probably could be more aggressive, but in the end, with an offer of $90 and shipping of like $9, I was able to pick these both up for just under $100. And also, again, it was using some birthday cash I got. And hey, sometimes you gotta treat yourself. And this is what I did, getting a first appearance of a Spidey character. And also, with the modern interpretations, as I mentioned, of the Prowler, make him a very interesting character. So, yeah, two great Spidey Silver Age. Loving kind of getting issues from this era of Spider-Man, and also trying to get myself more familiar as I haven't read a lot of things from when John Romita was on art, John Romita Sr. rather, and kind of that silver to bronze age part of Spidey. So yeah, super happy to have found this, especially after striking out at the Old School Comic Show. I was chasing this one as well as the first appearance of Hobgoblin. That one is a bit more for a solo book, but that is one I'm actively on the hunt for, so don't be surprised if you see it pop up in a video by the end of the year. But that's it for the comic haul. Feels good to share this with you guys, as even though some time might have passed with the other hauls, but the Prowler haul was fairly recent, as my birthday just popped up at the end of April. Anyway, if you had a favorite title, favorite book from these pickups, let me know down in the comments below. Are you a fan of the Prowler? Do you have this book? I'd also love to hear from you. But that's going to do it for this one, guys. Thank you again for tuning in, and I hope to catch you in the next one. Take care.